Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's fly the opposite route of our recent longitude trip from Telluride to Aspen. Today we'll fly from Aspen to Telluride using FlySimware's brand new Learjet 35A Early Access. So it is an early access, just like in my last Learjet video. I do need to point out that some things are work in progress, like for example the cockpit textures, but overall it is quite an enjoyable airplane to fly already, and with FlySimware's reputation from the Chancellor, I'm pretty sure that this is going to become an awesome add-on, not just from the outside but also from the inside. So, we are standing here at minus 10 degrees centigrade, so it's a pretty cold day today. So let's go ahead and make sure that we remove our covers before we're actually starting our pre-flight procedures. So let's just go back inside into the cockpit and get out that electronic flight bag where we have those options available. So engine cover, pitot cover, front cover, all of those can go. Then we can go ahead and do a quick walk around of the plane, and thereafter we are going to make our flight. So starting at the front again, the angle of attack vane, pitot probe looking good, going over to the other side, no damage in the front. The probes on this side are looking good as well, including the TAT probe, and the main wheel is looking good. Then we can move a little forwards to the back. Is that a foot? That's a shoe, isn't it? No further comment. No further comment. Okay, then we can go further to the back of the plane, quick look around the wing, look around the external fuel tank, and then we can already start moving to the back. Engine is looking good, quick look into the front as well there, looking good as well. Okay then, onto the back of the plane, no visible damages, and then we can go over to the other side. Same checks over here, and then we're already done, and we can head over into the little bit more comfy part of our Learjet. Okay, everything's good on the main gear, and then we go over to the other side. Tip tank is okay, and off we go. Okay, perfect. So, follow me inside. Okay, the parking brake is set, then the chocks can be removed. Let's also close the cabin door. Looks good. So, we are fully loaded today. Every single one of our seats, almost, is occupied. Might just about want to open the sunshades, makes it a little bit nicer for our passengers to enjoy the hopefully awesome view we are going to have today. Yes, even you on that seat can have a look outside today. Alright, perfect. So, join me in the cockpit. Do we just quickly want to fill that last seat as well? Oh, we can't even. Okay. Well, in that case, Dorothy is going to take a seat in the back, and we'll leave the seat number 4 in the front over here free. That shall be alright. Okay, cool. In terms of fuel, we just got the wing tanks loaded up, the rest is empty. Range 822 is more than perfect, and the reason we need to do this is with this load of passengers, you can see we're at a gross weight of 6,556, but if you look at that, our max landing weight is 6,486. So we're just above the max landing weight. And there is not too much fuel in these tanks. So that's something to consider for us today. Okay then. That, by the way, was myself punching my iPad from the desk. So I did want to get rid of an iPad, but I rather choose the one in here in the cockpit to get rid of, rather than my physical one. Okay, cool. So that's our general load of the airplane complete, then a quick inspection of all our switches, making sure that we're in good condition to power up the airplane, and that's looking good as far as I can see. Okay, it does indeed. So, batteries on, inverters on, seatbelts on, and then let's put on the beacon. So, startup clearance is received, I would say. Not that we have any actual ATC over here, but that's fair enough. Okay. In order to power the airplane, the battery is going to be pretty weak because of the temperatures over here. So let's go ahead and get started straight away. Engine 1, start. Okay, and 2. And 1. Oil pressure. Okay, good start on number 1. I just accidentally put both levers up. Okay, let's get the generator running so that we got AC power available. Generator is covering. Okay, engine 2 start. Nice to see, by the way. Have a look at the load over here. When I engaged the starter, it went from 100 to over 300 amperes. Okay, and 2, and 1. Oil pressure, 20%. You can, by the way, also move the thrust levers into the idle position using your joystick by just moving them slightly. That's what I did when I started the left engine. Okay, so that looks like 2 good starts to me. Starter's going off, and you can see how the load on the generator on the left one has significantly decreased. Okay then, so that is 2 good starts. I'll turn the pitot heat on straight away because I want to give it a little bit of time to preheat before we actually go flying. Okay then, we're looking at a landing elevation at almost 10,000 feet, so we'll just dial the cabin altitude up all the way to just under 10,000. Nav light coming on as well, and that is good. Okay, going down. The flaps are on 8 already. We'll leave them there. But I just quickly want to check that the flaps are indeed moving. So, yeah, they're working still. Looking good. Okay then, COM2 can go to 101.5. Okay, then let's quickly enter our route. And we're going to go 122.8 on COM1. Like that. Okay, looking good. So, let's have a quick look at the Navigraph charts. You can see I'll prepared the flight already. And this is it. We're going via Linz, Sloan, Monrose, and then to Cones. And from Cones we're going to start the approach to Telluride. So, Aspen weather, let's have a quick look. 3019, and it's 1 degree by now. That's cool. So, 3019. Set once, twice, and 3 times. Okay then, we're going to do the Cozy 1 visual departure, leading up into the north, onto a 343 heading, then a left turn onto 173, and then we fly towards Linz. So let's go into the flight plan programming then. So, KA SE Aspen, procedure, departure, Cozy 1, runway 33, load that up. So you can clear that out. Okay then, from Linz we're going to fly via Slom. And I'm just going to use that little shortcut over here. Okay, Slom. On towards Montrose, Mike Tango Juliet. like that. And from there on, we can already enter our destination, which is going to be Kilo Tango Echo X-Ray. Telluride Regional, here we go. Perfect. Okay, procedure. Approach is going to be the arm of Zulu, runway 09. Okay, wait a moment, it might not be the Zulu, but the Yankee. Why can I not find that? Looks like all of them are going via Echo Tango Lima. Okay, that's fine with me, then we'll just enter vectors. Load that up, let's have a quick look through the plan. Yep, that's exactly our route as we wanted. Okay, looking good. So, 343 is going to be our initial course, shortly followed by a left turn onto 273, and then 303 is going to be the track to Linz. So that is what I'm going to put into the course over here. There you go, 303. 343 then our initial. Like that. Okay, and the rest of that stuff we can do later. So, do we have an initial climb altitude published? Not really, huh? Okay, I'd say in that case we just go 13,000 at first, which is kind of what they published there as well. So, let's go ahead and dial that up. Here we go, 13,000. Okay, looks good to me. So I'd say with that, we are pretty much all set. Just a final thing here, that's our destination elevation, 9,000. Okay, so we'll select 9,000 feet on the cabin altitude as well. Alright. So we can uncage the standby. Attitude is selected. Why is the off flag still showing? Can't see any precise reason for that, right? Avionics master is on. Maybe once we put the emergency battery to standby. Let's see that. Oh, that's on. That's standby. Okay, that's it indeed. Alright, looking good. So I'd say with that we're pretty much covered. I really don't know what the N1 is going to be for takeoff. We'll just see that we don't overheat the engine. So I'm just going to put something in, like 95 over here. Okay, and the rest of our systems is looking good. Then, what do we need for our departure? Red table VOR 13.0. I'm going to put that into COM 2. And then on COM 1 we are going to tune the back course localizer 108.5. So 108.5. Okay, so we got the DME for that over here. Then we'll take red table down here. And with that we should be good to go. Okay, cool. So I'd say that's about it. Just got the takeoff trim warning left. Okay, fair enough. And here we go. Okay, looking good. So with that, press the steering lock. Steering on is showing. Okay, taxi should be fairly easy. Parking down here in front of the FBO. So it's going to be southbound on Alpha. And we can take something like Alpha 6 for our departure. Or we just go full length. Yeah, at these elevations, probably full length is the better option. Okay, cool. Clear on the left side. Clear on the right side. Taxi light on. Park and brake off. Here we go. Brake check. It's looking good. Okay, so ready for takeoff briefing. So I don't see any particular threats for this departure except for the terrain, but we've got nice visual conditions, so the terrain is not really going to be a threat either. We'll simply climb straight out, going to maintain an initial 180 knots until we clear the terrain, and then we can continue at our normal climb speed of 250. Apart from that, our takeoff speeds are 120 each, so stop margin is of course a little limiting today, but we'll have the reversers available and we can arm them already, so the reversers are going to cover for that. Yeah, apart from that, sit straight ahead on 343. When the situation permits, we're gonna make a left-hand turn on the 273 and then intercept the 303 course inbound to Linz. Apart from that, for emergencies, we'll make it a visual pattern back in here, and the wind is weak enough that we can always just make a tailwind landing on runway 15, which is definitely going to enable the more straight-in approach. Do you have any questions on the briefing? No? Okay, very good. So that's about it, as easy as it gets. We could take an intersection here, but I tell you what, we're not in any hurry today, so let's just go for a full length for the departure. Also, I'll put the GPS onto that view. Gives us a little bit of a navigation display here at least, even though the primary source is going to be the HSI. Remember, we got to move the course manually over here. The system is not going to do that automatically for us, which is correct. Even though some flight simulator developers are making this a little bit easier and have the GPS steer the course needle, but if you want to go full realism, then that is actually not correct. So that's what we plan to do. Okay, we're clear on the approach. Don't have any cabin crew to prepare. So, lights on, flaps out. Initial climb is set. I'd say we're all good to go. Takeoff. Power set, 80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Flaps up. Okay, left engine is getting too hot there. Okay, left turn, 273. Well clear of any terrain. Totally love the climb performance of the Learjet. Okay, well clear of the terrain. Let's go ahead and start accelerating. 250 knots for the climb. Okay, the lag to Linz is activated, so that we actually get correct indication down here on the intercept course, and then we continue our climb, flight level 280, which is our target level for the flight. Or 290 actually, 290. Okay, reverse is disarmed. Lights are off. Okay, the inbound course is coming. Intercepting this 303 course. Looking very good. Okay, so nav, vertical speed, autopilot. And as we're on it, let's put the yaw damper on as well. Okay, that's looking good. Then we can go speed hold. Transition, set standard. Okay, standard thrust check level 194 now. Okay, left turn 247. The course is set. Looking really good, isn't it? Graphics are so incredibly lovely in this sim. Okay then, let's increase power a little bit more to get the turbines up to 850. It's not like we would need it, but if we can have it... 92.7 is the target power. A bit less. Number one is getting a little warm right now. Okay. 92.4. So decreasing power slightly at number two. But generally this is looking quite good. Okay, what's the cabin doing? Nicely at target altitude. Even though this more looks like 8,000 rather than 9,000. Let's see what happens if I just put this a little higher. 3,000 to go, doing 3,000 feet a minute. Over to vertical speed already, because in a couple of moments we need to reduce our vertical speed. Get the pitch slightly down. 2,000 to go, and we are doing roughly 2,000 feet a minute. And in the meantime, we can let the plane accelerate. Looking for 300 knots for the cruise. I'll put the radar on as well, even though I'll just put it to ground mode. 1,000 to go. Doing about 1,000 feet a minute or so. Okay then. Systems, all of them looking good still. We'll release the seatbelts so that they can at least move around a little bit, but I'm sure we'll have to start the descent again very, very soon. Lovely view outside from the Learjet cockpit, as always. And we're about to start the level off. Okay, turn left, 186. 186 is set, and we are level. Alt hold has captured. Okay, speed is reaching the target. Then we can start pulling off some of the power. Now we just gotta have a close look on the speed to make sure that we get that settled. Flying close to the overspeed, but obviously we don't want to go right into it. Okay, so next thing for us to do, VNAV. Let's grab the charts again. So for the approach over at Cones VOR, we got to be in 13,000. Well, 12.9 at set miles, so let's say we want 13,000. Yeah, 4 miles before set mile. Vertical speed profile, let's make it 3,000. Like that. And then the descent can start any moment now. Okay, 2,600 is the target right now, so we'll be going down in literally a few moments. Okay, in the meantime we can tune Monroe's VOR, that's 17, bad overlay here. 17.1, let's put that in COM 2. $37 miles, looking good. And then we can tune cones. That's 16.95 on the left side. 116.95. Okay, it's also being received already. Very good. So, reaching our top of descent. Start going down, vertical speed, Alt cell, and hit that nose down button a couple times. $3,000 feet a minute, looking good. I told you what is a short flight. Okay, 640 is our minimums. That is okay. Speed buck is looking good, and we are nicely going down. So, all the way down to 13. Like that. Okay then, so quick last check of the weather over here, and that is now 280 at 5. Clear skies, 2 degrees, 3022. Okay, set altimeter 3022. cross check passing 23,300 now. Checked. Okay. So with that, I'd say we're pretty much done with our setup. We'll only need the charts again later when we start the actual approach. So we're good to go. We could probably have stayed at a little lower altitude, but I did use SimBrief to calculate the flight. It said 290 was our optimum flight level, so for that reason I just went up here. Even though if I had used a normal rate of descent like 2 or 2,500 feet a minute, we would probably have gone ballistic. But hey, it's fine. Ultimately, we're flying a business jet. We don't really care, do we? The fuel is paid for anyway. 12 minutes into the flight, we're already in the descent again. Gonna be really interesting flying that one. Look at that, there's an airport straight in front of us. That's not our destination, that much I can say. Even though, let's have a look at the chart, what it really is. Montrose Regional Airport. For a regional, that thing is rather large, is it? Really is. Well, nice. So we can simply leave the elevation where we wanted. 9,000 is our field elevation as well. Signs coming on. Okay then, we're roughly 10,000 feet above field elevation now, so let's pull the speed back towards 250 so that we don't go too quick over here. Power coming down. So we're probably going to get roughly 2,000 feet a minute rate of descent here. Once our speed is back at 250. That's looking quite good. Okay, so we're in the USA below 18,000. That means the landing lights are gonna come on. Also, I am going to switch the... okay, the recognition lights are still on. That's even better. Okay, vertical speed target is minus 1900 now. We're probably doing 2100. That's completely fine as well. Let's keep the speed at 250 though. We don't want to go too slow. If the Eagles overtake us, that's something we need to work on. Okay then. Approaching. That's an interesting VNAV guidance though. 4 miles before Sepma. 13,000 MSL. We're just up here at Montrose. Like, we've still got 30 miles to fly towards Cones, and Sepma only comes after that. So our VNAV guidance is incorrect here. 1,000 to go. I never had VNAV mess up that bad. Look at that, it skips Echo Tango Lima. Why is it doing that? Okay, direct to Cones, please. 206 course. Yeah, that was a bug in the GPS there. But why is it going to the missed approach Echo Tango Lima now? I'm gonna go up here. It doesn't do it. It goes down here for a missed approach. Doesn't make much sense. Well, anyway, we are just gonna head there now. We'll maintain 13,000, 30 miles to run. So that was quite a GPS failure here. The thing is using the working title unit, so that's probably a bug in the working title. Obviously, it's also a bug in me not cross-checking what my VNAV is commanding, but the unit has always been reliable, so I didn't really question what it had to say. And I knew it was a short flight, so I wasn't really paying too much attention, which obviously turned out as an error now. So now we're flying level in 13,000, right above the Rockies. The only good thing is, if you look at the charts over here, minimum en route altitude is 12,000 feet, so we don't need to worry about this part at least. As you can also see outside, well clear of any of the terrain. But yeah, interesting to see that the working title seems to have a VNAV problem. Never knew about that. So far it always worked really reliably. But there we have it again, you never know. You always learn something new. Now after all it's only 30 miles, so might get a little bumpy, seatbelts are on. Let's keep the speed under control at 250 though. So fuel used, 1,200 pounds, fuel quantity is looking okay. That's interesting. The fuel indicator was lagging quite behind there. But okay, it's working again now, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So how are we going to solve the GPS problem now? I suppose we'll just we'll fly towards Echo Tango Lima, and then we'll just activate the lag from ETL towards SEPMA, like that, using the activate lag function. Yeah, that's probably our best idea. And then we should still be able to fly the RNAV approach out of that. And if not, the weather is good enough that we can always just go visual. The only question I'm asking myself now is we are now 16 miles out from Echo Tango Lima, so that's going to be somewhere over there. Thereafter we'll make a left-hand turn onto the final, but it never looked to me like there was a large plateau over here like there is now. At least not when I'm thinking back to the mission in Microsoft Flight Simulator X where you flew the Learjet 45 into Telluride. In there you flew over some really hilly terrain. This one over here doesn't really look like it at all. But well, we'll take it there and then we'll see. Time remaining 3 minutes. It's okay. It did start to get a little turbulent. You can see it nicely from the outside as well, I suppose. Yeah, look at that. Planes go left and right all the time. The up and down doesn't count, that's just the sim doing its sim stuff. But the left and right, that does count. Nice to see when looking outside as well how the nose is going slightly left and right all the time. That's something that I saw a lot in the 737, but never really saw that in the sim too much. Okay, 8 miles to run, so I suppose the codes we are somewhere over here. And we'll turn left, and yeah, this is probably the valley in which we need to go, is it? At least I guess so. Could that be 7 miles? No, we're running a little bit further straight. Has to be some of these valleys though. We look at the approach chart, coming from here on a 200 course, so somewhere over here roughly. And it's 100 degrees to the left and into the valley, and the outpost located next to that hill. So where could we possibly be looking at? 4.5 miles, then we turn left. Has to be this one. Has to be this valley. Well, I suppose we're going to find out. So, quick check on the chart. What's the minimum temperature for the approach? minus 18. Okay, and we're at +1, so that's going to be fine. Okay, Setma, menu, activate lag. Yes. Okay, turn left, 102. Might just overshoot a bit here. I should have activated that earlier. I was looking into the charts too much. Well done, we'll get the speed down, 180 to intercept the final. Still got 7 miles almost in level flight until Setma before we leave our altitude, so we are covered above the MSA over here. As you can see, flat terrain around. The GPS has been causing a couple of problems for us today, though. If that was a real flight, I would absolutely write that down in the tech log. Okay, glide slope is armed. Still 6 miles to run to the intercept. But look at this, we're doing just about 210 knots right now, and it's still 260 true airspeed. Okay, so 2.1 miles off track, but we're re-intercepting. The GPS has switched to LPV minima, localizer performance plus vertical navigation. And just prior to our final descent, I am going to reduce our speed aggressively and then get the flaps down. I'd say like 1 mile out or something. We are in the region where we can take the flaps already. Also nicely establishing on the final approach course again. Okay, mile to run. Speed is below 200, flaps 8. Vertical profile incoming. Flaps 20, gear down. Okay, then speed back 160. Intercepting the glide, runway inside. Okay, so let's see, lights are on, seatbelts are on. We'll just about get the ignition on as well. Okay. Reverse is armed. Very good, we're all set up. Okay, autopilot off. So look at that, even though we're just flying 160 indicated, it's still 200 knots ground speed. Ooh, going a little up and down here. That's what I don't really like about the trim in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, let's get the speed down. 130 final approach. As we are rather heavy today. Okay, below 150, flaps 40. I will leave the viewpoint where it is right now, so that you can actually see my yoke movements. Okay, we're all trimmed out. That's everything looking good. bit of turbulence here. So 150 knots ground speed. That's quite fast for a Learjet. We'll definitely have to make use of the reversers in order not to use the brakes too much. So a little bit of turbulence here. Probably going to have a little bit more on the way on the short final there, especially when we go past that hill on the left side there. Okay, we're down, reversers deployed, and reversers operating. "70 knots, we'll take the exit at the end." That was a nice landing. Or at least it was a fun landing. Gotta do that more often. For sure the Learjet is an interesting plane to fly. Okay, then let's get rid of the reverse, and then we'll vacate at the end. It's interesting that the sound of the reversers just stays, even though I don't know why. Okay, then steering lock is on. And here we go. Okay, now the reverser sound is going. There's definitely some bug in that. Even though I'm not 100% sure where exactly the bug is, but there certainly is some. Okay then. Flaps going back to 8. Lights going over to taxi. Okay, and the strobe light can go off as well. Alright, looking good. Not sure if 26 knots is really an appropriate taxi speed for a Learjet, at least on an airport like this. But hey. At least the brakes are working very well indeed. Okay, cool. So we'll get rid of our passengers just in front of the terminal building here, and then they can tow the plane away later. Oh, look at that! Interesting inscription there. Okay, brake set. So, ignition off, generators off, avionics off, and engines off. Takes a little while. Here we go, engines shutting down. Oh, look at that! The Navigraph chart icon just bugged there. What is that doing? Can we get rid of it? Yeah, thanks. Never seen it do that before. But well, with this sim you've never seen it all anyway. It's just like an Airbus. How can you tell someone's a Microsoft Flight Simulator pilot? He's asking, why is it doing that? How can you tell someone's an experienced Microsoft Flight Simulator pilot? He's asking, why is it doing it again? Alright then, here we are. And power coming off as well. Okay then, so thank you very much for flying everyone in the back there. That's $6,000 please. main door. And... whoopsie. Come on, where's that click spot? Here it is. And it needs convincing, it seems. Come on. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not working. Probably something to do with the pre-release version that we are flying. Or with the early access, I should say. It is released. Okay, in that case, we are just going to do it that way. So, chocks in place. And cabin door open. Is it opening now? Yes, it is. Perfect then, here we are. By the way, don't ask me why the drone camera is always moving to the side, but welcome to Telluride. I do hope you did enjoy this flight, and if you did, do let me know in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to your feedback on that one, and then I see you all again on the next one. In the meantime, if you did like the video, be sure to hit the like button in the YouTube page as well, as it does really help out with the algorithms, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're up for more. If you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much for flying, and I see you all again on the next one.